Well, hi guys, Emma again. Don't know if I've bitten more than I can chew with this. This is part 2, I think, of this little engine build. It's just been dropped on me that I'm working 10 days straight, then I got 4 days off, which will give me time to make the boiler. It gives me a bit of a time frame. But until then I got 10 days straight, so I'm trying to get some of the couple of articles or a couple of major parts of this little engine finished in that time and videos uploaded. We'll see how we go. First part, first thing to build is the base, which is this part. If we have a look at the drawing here, my crowded little bench, we've got a bit of 0.6, I'd say. It might be 0.8. The steel sheet, the right size. These drawings in this book are all to scale and right, so you could actually photocopy them and cut them out and stick them on and use them as steel patterns. But all that this needs is a 12mm fold up each side and a 6mm fold along the back, and the corners need to be cut out, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes drilled in it. So that's pretty straightforward. So we're going to make that tonight. First thing I guess is to mark this out. I reckon that the most or the least experienced of my viewers would be able to mark that out without any hassles and without my instructions. This is all marked from one side, a 72mm and 12mm, so there's 2 lines running through, and then it's got a 6mm fold on this end with a cutout. Then the holes are all marked from one side too, so that's pretty straightforward. I've just got a mate of mine, and a big shout out to Jim. He's out there watching somewhere. So big shout out for running around and chasing up these bits of tin for me. He got them cut exactly the size, which is fantastic. The average sheet metal worker shouldn't have any problems at all doing that, and these cost me a carton, so I'm pretty happy with that. There's all the bits for the engine. So let's go ahead and mark this out. So about 10 minutes later, I've marked these holes out, the 6 holes here. These 2 bolt the engine down, and these 2 bolt the boiler down, and these 2 probably bolt the whole assembly down in a boat or something, I think. Unless when I read through the book I find another purpose for them, but I might put them in. Cut these out pretty quickly with a hacksaw. It took me about 5 minutes. File them up to the line. That's pretty straightforward little job. And mark the folds here. So next job is to drill them. There's 6 holes, and there are 4 holes on the outside. These 2 and these 2 are countersunk underneath. So we'll get to and do that next. So that's pretty straightforward. 6 holes, 4 of them are countersunk on the back, and we're ready to bend him up. Now, I'm sure all you viewers have got fancy sheet metal workshops and you do all sorts of cool stuff, and I know some of you do, and what I do is pretty rough, and it's going to be a bit Heath Robertson-ish really, because I don't have a pan brake and I don't have a set of rollers, but this is a pretty straightforward little job, and what I've got is a piece of solid aluminium bar, nice heavy bit, and I've got a bench vise. Wind that out. And I've got a bit of flat there that's nearly long enough. And hopefully that's not too bad and you can see what I'm doing. I need to bend these at 90 degrees towards the top, and this isn't quite long enough, but this one certainly is, and that'll be long enough to keep it. So if we get all this that's pretty sweet. It's worth taking the time to get right. The results will pay off later. You can just see this here. Like that. So, a lot of tapping and messing around later. This is fairly thick material and it's fairly long to bend in the vise, but we got it done. The best way probably to do it in hindsight is to clamp it on something between two bits of stuff and just tap the small edge over until it's bent. Next time that's probably how I'd do it. But it did bend okay and it's all nice and parallel. Hasn't got too much rock or anything in it. It's got all the right number of holes and it's got an extra bend on this end. To be honest, it's probably as good or better than I would have managed in high school, so I've got to be pretty happy with that. I guess the only real job that I really would like to see done is these ends a bit rounded on here, just stop you catching your finger on them, and these ones too. But apart from that, that's the base finish. So that's a night's work, I guess. It probably took me 2 hours to mess around and from start to finish that. Next job's the burner. And it's probably not a bad idea to make the burner afterwards so that it fits in this channel, because I don't think this is exactly the measurements, but it's nice and neat and square and it's probably good enough. So next video is to make the burner, and thanks for watching guys, and more soon.